Can't be bothered. There are 13 days left in April, and I have not read a single book on my TBR. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Paige, and welcome to my channel.
That's gross. I really, ew.
Hi, my name's Paige. I really like to read most of the time, but I think I might be getting into a book slump, which is not great. And the only way that I have found that I can combat book slumps is by trying to force myself to read a book and then DNFing it until I find one that I actually like. This is gonna sound really bad, but mostly from the library that I'm like, oh, those are gonna be really good, and then they turn out not to be, or like recommendation videos too. And that's what we're doing today, is we're gonna go through my April TBR and just chug a whole bunch of these off. Obviously, we started with this. I really wanted to like this. I read over 50%, pushing myself through it, and I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. So we're going to move on to Eliza and Her Monsters, which is my other YA one that I also think I'm not going to like. But I put it on my TBR. I brought it home from the library, and my rule this year is I have to at least try it. If I bring it home, I have to read at least however many chapters based off of my rule. If you don't know my rule, this is my rule. While you read that, I'm going to continue talking. I hope that you can do 2 strains of words at once. If not, I apologize. Originally, this was supposed to be read my entire TBR with me in a week, my April TBR in a week. I don't know where I got that idea. I don't know what made me think I could do that, but that's not what we're doing today. I still have 9 books on my TBR that I need to read, or I need to DNF, honestly. So that's what we're doing. I have 13 days to technically get through my TBR. However, I don't want to read any of these. And the books that I do want to read were my bonus books for the month, and I am determined to at least just try. I want to try. Is this gonna make my book slump worse? Possibly, but we're just gonna ignore that, and we're just gonna continue like this is a normal human thing to do, and everyone feels like this when they pick up a book. Okay, I don't want to hear it. So obviously this stack behind me is not 10 books. I think there's 6 over here still. Yeah. DNF'd Jelly, that's not happening. I'm picking up Eliza and Her Monsters, and then if you were not here for my April TBR video where we made my April TBR, there are 2 on my Kindle, and those are An Echo of Old Books and Bitter Magic Sweet, or something like that. I'm currently reading An Echo of Old Books on my Kindle. I'm about 50% of the way through, and I'm actually liking it. I'm not loving it, but I'm liking it, and I'm sticking with that one. But I want to read a physical book, and I don't have the physical copy of An Echo of Old Books. So we're going to pick up the next one and try not to DNF it. And then later tonight, when I'm bored, I don't want to read this anymore, we're going to come up here and we're going to pick the next one, and we're just going to keep working our way through until we are done with all 10 books. Anyways, I digress. Let's go start our next read. Eliza and Her Monsters. It is a very long time later, and I have made 0 progress. And when I say a really long time later, I mean a really long time later. There is now only 7 days left in the month of April, including today. I have 7 days to read like a 10-book TBR that I'm only 2 books in. So from that, if it wasn't completely obvious, I am having a really weird reading month. I'm only on my 3rd book. I normally read about 10. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm just doing my other hobbies more. I don't know. I was also gone on a trip I don't know. However, this book is helping. And with all of the reading combined, I am currently sitting at chapter 13, which is page 106 out of 400, I think. And it's actually really good. I'm having a ball. And I know I said it was probably going to be a DNF, but I don't think that it is. I'm enjoying myself, and I intend to fully continue reading this book. So, that is what I'm gonna go do right now, is go continue reading it. Wow, my room looks really empty from this angle. Okay, ignoring the fact that it looks like I live in a jail cell, let's talk about our books. Or book. Actually, y'all don't really know what's going on yet. So it is in fact the following evening, as in a whole day later. So I have 6 days, including today, left to finish my April TBR, even though it's 10 o'clock at night. I did finish Eliza and Her Monsters yesterday. I totally intended on talking to y'all. I just I fell asleep, okay? But I finished Eliza and Her Monsters. I literally, just like what I said the last time we talked, I couldn't put it down. Like, it wasn't the best story I've ever written. I haven't written this. What? It wasn't the best story I've ever read, but it was so endearing, and I just loved the characters, and I wanted to see how they would grow both together and apart. And just, I was enthralled, and I wanted to know what happened. So I did read this pretty much in one sitting. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I did 4 out of 5 because, first off, loved it, endearing, like I said, but it didn't give me the 5-star feel. And there were just a couple of moments for maybe like 5-10 pages where I was like, can we hurry up just a little bit, you know? Like, it was long, but not like boring form long, like most of the longer books that I tend to pick up. I fully enjoy this one, but on like chapter 35, the main guy in this book does something absolutely diabolical that had me like, and like I was almost crying. Like, I was literally almost crying for our main girl, Eliza. And I'm so glad they fixed that, because it was literally the second that happened, I'm like down to a 2. Like, it was that bad. So that's why I ended up with a 4, because I don't think it needed to happen that part, but otherwise I did really like Eliza and Her Monsters. And if you notice, I said books. I ended up picking up Wings Once Cursed and Bound after that. I read it a little bit last night. I believe I have only read the first 2 chapters. Yes, I'm on chapter 3, and this is looking like it's going to be a DNF. This is a romance, and I knew that going in. I knew it was a romance, but I didn't realize just how deeply supernatural this book is. Normally, I'm a supernatural girl. I like fantasy, I enjoy supernatural, but right now, I am not vibing with it, and I'm not vibing with the story enough to stay with it. That being said, I still have to follow my rule. I have to read the first 5 chapters. So we are going to go read the next 3 chapters to get to chapter 5. We will reconvene about this book, and then we're going to go from there. I just finished reading the next 3 chapters, and Wings Once Cursed and Bound, like I said I was going to. I am now 53 pages in, which according to Goodreads is about 17%, and I'm not going to DNF it. I'm just not, but I'm not in the mood to read it, and I'm not going to be in the mood to read it for the rest of April. So I'm just going to hold on to it, and maybe we'll read it in May. It's getting a soft DNF. I don't have that many complaints. There's a couple of grammar errors in there, and just like grammatically and storyline wise. But I do still want to read tonight. But I have 3 days to read 7 books, and I ended up bringing a second book upstairs from my stash downstairs, just in case I didn't like Wings Once Cursed and Bound, and that is The Wharton Plot by Mariah Fredericks. I've never read a book by her before, and it says that it's a historical book, but it also kind of sounds like it is a like mystery that takes place in the past and is like kind of historically accurate, if that makes sense. And that is normally right up my alley. So I'm very excited to start this, but I'm at least going to start it, and then we will reconvene to talk about my reading in the morning. So, obviously, you just saw what I did last night, or I guess that's not obvious because you don't know that that was last night. Um, wow. I apparently don't know how to explain. Okay, so last night I said I was gonna go read The Wharton Plot and ended up not. I got the spontaneous urge to start a diamond painting project, so I ended up listening to the first chapter of Find You in the Dark by Nathan Ripley instead. I grabbed the book from downstairs, but I'm listening to it in the audiobook form just because that's how I prefer to read my thrillers most of the time. So that's what I'm doing. Currently have no thoughts other than the fact that I picked this book to fulfill my library's reading challenge for this year, and I had to pick a book that took place in Washington State, and I said this one did, and then I said it didn't, and it does. So I was right. I'm just stupid. But other than that, I do want to keep continuing in this one, which is what I'm going to go do now. I'm going to keep listening to this and working on my diamond painting project. But if anything notable happens, or depending on how far we'll get, I'll come check in with you. I'm going to go keep reading Find You in the Dark, and we'll converse when something happens, because right now I'm just trying to read 8 books in 5 days. I make great life decisions. I have bad news. So it's once again been quite a while since we've talked. I'm not doing very good. I'm really not doing very good this month. But it has been a while since we talked, unfortunately. So I don't want to talk about it. I do, however, want to talk to you about this book overall. I listened to a lot of it last night, and then I listened to quite a bit of it today. Is it the most like interesting thriller I've ever read? No, but I definitely am like interested in it. I don't think I've read a thriller with this plot before, or any plot points that this one has. It's very interesting in that sense, but I don't feel a need to like sit down and finish it right now. And I also want to read a physical book, and I want to finish this as an audiobook. So we're going to finish that tomorrow, which is the last day of April. But tonight we are going to start reading Lore by Alexandria Bracken. For those of you who don't know, this is an author who I've loved another book by. She wrote Silver in the Bone. I read that in February, I believe, and I was absolutely obsessed with it. Anyways, I'm really excited to start this. I believe this book is split into parts. Yeah, there's 5 parts, and I'm gonna see how far we can get tonight, and we'll talk. You know, I was gonna say, despite the fact that it looks like I haven't moved or done anything, I am in a new outfit. I've showered, so my hair looks better, and it's probably in a new location because I've hung new lights in my room since we've last talked, even though it's only been like less than 24 hours. But hi, new day. So it is the night of the final day of April. And there is no way I'm finishing this TBR. We all knew, okay, but there's no way. I'm scratching Lore because I have to actually sit down and read that one. I can't do that with other stuff that I have going on. So, Lore is not getting finished. However, I do think I have enough time to finish Find You in the Dark by Nathan Ripley. This bookmark is actually not in the right spot of where I am in the book, but I think I'm probably like 80% of the way through this book. I listened to it a little bit today. It's not going in the direction I thought it was going to, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just like I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think it was this, and I just, I don't know. But once again, I am going to listen to it as an audiobook for reading purposes. I'll just check in with you when I finish it, or if like a super major something drops out of the sky and I become super awestruck, we'll stop and talk about it. But this book is really just, it's not bad. It's just, I don't really know. I don't think I can form a coherent thought on it right now, but I am going to go finish Find You in the Dark. I'm going to go do that. Yeah. I know this is the worst thing I've ever done. I literally don't care. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. But I finished this 10 minutes ago, and I'm not really sure how I feel. Like I said, it's a plot I've never seen before and everything like that. But I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't very thrilling to me. I didn't like it. No, I did. I did enjoy it, and I had a fun time reading it, and like it was interesting, I guess. It was interesting, right? But it's like I don't really like. I wasn't like, oh my god, what the hell? It also, I don't know if I classified this as a thriller or if my library did. It was a lot more. Oh, it's his debut novel. Anyways, this book is gonna get a 3 out of 5 from me. As always, if you want more like conclusive or overall broad thoughts about everything, my April TBR or not my April TBR, my April wrap up video will be out next week. So, but yeah, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for failing and reading my entire TBR with me today. This was a lot of fun. Next time we do this, because we're doing this again, I need a redemption arc, okay? We need a redemption arc, and I'm going to do a great job. Again, thank you for joining me today. Had a whole bunch of fun. Hope you did too. As always, let me know any book recs that you have. Let me know what books you read in April. What books didn't you read in April that you thought you were going to get to? I can give you like 7. In all honesty, I hope you guys had a great, wonderful reading month. I am not making any sense. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm so sorry. I hope you had a great and wonderful reading month, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, guys.